Hey guys, you may have noticed that I've been a little bit absent on social media recently, and there's a good reason for that. We've been working on a really massive project, and you know how these things go. I haven't really wanted to announce it until I knew for sure that it was going to happen and we had all our ducks in a row and everything was working. But it's happening, and so I wanted to go ahead and make the announcement on social media that we are building an indoor arena on our property here. And I am so excited to have this, to be able to train horses any time of the day or night that I need to, no matter what the weather is. It's gonna be so nice to have this arena. So I'll turn the camera around here and show you the building itself that's just sitting on the ground. So this is the building. These are all the arches. It's gonna be a Quonset hut style, which if you're familiar with that, it basically just is a bunch of arches. There's no sidewalls, there's no really defined roof or trusses or anything like that. It's just these arches that get bolted together, and that is the structure as well as the skin of the building. They're very durable, they stand up really well in like tornadoes and stuff like that. And we're super excited. But the main thing for us was it's a lot cheaper than building a traditional building. So this here is the pad where we're going to be putting the building, and all of those cross ditches there are for cross beams that are going to be poured in concrete to hold the two sides of the building together so that it doesn't kind of splay out. But anyway, I'll turn the camera back around here. The reason I'm so excited about building this is, you know, when I first got started about a year and a half ago, trying to do training horses professionally, you know, I'm a big proponent of copying people that are successfully doing what I want to do, you know, copying people that I want to be more like. And one of the things that I noticed is all of the trainers that I knew of that are successful and producing really high quality horses, basically the people I want to be more like, every single one of them has an indoor arena on their facility that they can train in all the time. There's really nobody out there that I know of who is producing high quality, good horses, but trying to do it the way I've been doing it the last year, which is just trying to ride outside no matter what the weather is. And you could say, hey, well, you should just tough through the weather and just ride anyway. And I get that. There is some, you know, some toughness to that. But there's a lot of times when the ground is just too soggy and you're just not going to be able to train well, or it's frozen. A lot of times in the wintertime, the arena is just frozen solid. If you get quite a bit of moisture on it and then it freezes, you can't drag it. It's just not possible. And if you ride your horses on that frozen ground, you're not going to be doing good things for their legs and bones and all that kind of stuff. So having an indoor is really important. I've said a lot that I really think a big part of being a horse trainer is just the ability to ride your horses 5 days a week, at least an hour a day, at least average that. And I feel for you guys out there that are not in a position where you can do that, because I was like that for quite a number of years before I really tried to start doing this full time. I had other jobs and, you know, life, and sometimes all you can ride is on a weekend or a couple nights a week or something like that. But a big part of producing really nice horses, I think, is being able to commit to riding them at least 5 days a week, an hour a day on average. And if the weather is dictating that you can't do that, then you need to change something. And so that's what we did. Like I said, we looked at every trainer that I've seen that's producing nice horses has an indoor. And so we said, okay, we need to build one. And so that's what we're doing. And I just couldn't be more excited. So I thought if you guys are interested, I am going to go through each piece of this indoor, because we did a lot of research and tried to save as much money while still doing this in a professional and good quality way. We're trying to save as much money as we can building this building. We weren't really financially ready to build a massive indoor, and so we did this in as cheap a way as we could while still doing it high quality. And so I thought it might be helpful for me to go through each piece of it, what it cost us and what we found in our research to be the most cost efficient way to do it. So let me turn the camera around here and I'll talk you through that. All right, so first off, we have the pad itself. Now, we went with a 100 by 70 foot building, so 100 long and 70 feet wide. You can see that on both ends, it's built up from the pasture around it. It's about a foot on that end and about 3 feet built up on this end, just to get it level. Highly recommend you having the dirt work done professionally. We did have this done professionally. There's no way I could have done this on my own. It's cost us a little bit over $4,000 to do professionally. The reason it was that cheap actually is that all of this dirt came from this land here. We didn't have to haul any of this in from a dirt company. Would have been much more expensive if we'd had to haul this in. But we were able to use all dirt from the land, and it worked great. Then the next piece is trenching. So it has a perimeter trench and the cross beams trenching. I did all that myself with a mini excavator. It really wasn't too terribly hard. Just laid out the lines, spray painted the lines, and then dug the lines. So definitely something you can do yourself. Just rent a mini excavator, and I used Bobcat of the Rockies. They were great. It's about $1,000 for a week's rental. Not bad at all. Also put in a water line. You can see over here. I'll turn over here and show you. We laid this water line ourselves. Again, just parts from Home Depot and Big R. It's not that difficult. It runs all the way to that corner of the barn over there. What much cheaper digging that trench and laying that water line ourselves than paying somebody to do it. The concrete we are paying a professional company to do because they're doing all the rebar and all that kind of stuff. That is outside of my knowledge base. So that's the step we're waiting on right now is we're using John Van Dock and his company. We're waiting on them to come in. With all this rain, they've been pretty backed up, and so that's why we don't have concrete yet, but we will hopefully soon. And then once the concrete's done, then the next piece is bolting on the building, and this is what it looks like. I will say these pallets, they were delivered to us. Oh, let me mention who we got the building from. Legacy Steel Buildings. We've really liked dealing with them. If you're looking at building any kind of building that you're going to order, we really liked Legacy Steel, particularly for the Quonset huts. I don't know anything about their other buildings, but we bought these from their booth at the Denver Stock Show and Rodeo, and they've just been really nice to work with. I will say these came on a big flatbed truck, and both our skid steer, which is that right there, and our tractor were not able to lift these pallets. And so you can see they separated them for us, but even with that, it really wasn't working. And so fortunately, the driver had a contact with a lift, and it was okay. We got somebody in that could lift these off without too much trouble. But just be prepared if you buy a building like this. Make sure you have the lift capability. So let's see, the next step is going to be bolting up the building. And for that, we're going to be renting a high lift reach thing from like one of those Genie lifts from Bill's Tool Rental. And I think that's going to be about $1,000 for a week's rental as well. And we of course have the skid steer and the tractor to help, and I'll keep you guys posted on how that goes. We did get a quote for putting this up professionally from Bill Carey and his construction company. And in the end, we decided just to go ahead and do it ourselves because that's what we're kind of planning on all along, and just to save money. And it is supposed to be a DIY kit. But if we fail miserably and can't get it built ourselves, we'll be going back to Bill and hiring him to put it up. So if you're looking to put one of these up and not really up for the challenge of doing it yourself, talk to Bill. He can build these things as well as a lot of other types of buildings he does. So anyway, that's pretty much it. We'll keep you guys posted as the building goes together, and we'll talk to you guys next time.